Are you a Jurassic Park fan? While we love seeing the T-Rex and Raptor on screen, have you ever wondered what would happen if they were still walking the planet? Things would probably be a little different. Or would they? In today's video, we'll talk about 13 things that would happen if dinosaurs were still alive. Firstly, you'll be surprised to know some of them are still around. You just don't recognize them. Let's talk about it. There are still dinosaurs. Well, not quite the dinosaurs you're picturing. They're mostly in bird form. For instance, the sparrows and blue jays you see every day have been around since the dinosaur era. In fact, most birds, such as geese, hawks, and even pigeons, have descended from non-flying dinosaurs called theropods. Have you ever wondered which dinosaurs fall under theropods? The very popular Tyrannosaurus rex and the smaller velociraptors are some examples. They shrank to the size of birds in a long evolutionary cycle. The feature you see in birds today, such as feathers, were adapted by theropods. While many people think dinosaurs are extinct, it's not nearly true in the real sense of the word. It wouldn't be like Jurassic Park. For many of us, the movie Jurassic Park was our first introduction to dinosaurs. However, you should not fall into the trap of thinking that what was shown in the movies was all scientifically accurate. Movies take a lot of liberties. If the different type of dinosaurs really did exist within reach of each other, there would have been ecological chaos. For instance, the Dilophosaurus and Velociraptor would have existed about 120 million years away from each other. Not only that, their locations were so far away they would have never come into contact. So the defense and attack mechanisms they developed over millennia would have been useless against each other. We may have never existed. If the dinosaurs had not disappeared millions of years ago, we may not even be around to have seen them. Granted, the first primates had started to evolve during the end of the dinosaur era, but they were nowhere close to what we have now. With dinosaurs being the dominant animals on the planet, it's also unlikely that primates would have evolved all that much either. While there were mammals during the dinosaur era, they were much smaller in size and concentrated on staying away from much bigger animals. Dinosaurs wouldn't be the same after all these years. If the asteroid hadn't hit the Earth a few millennia ago, you might be expecting dinosaurs to remain just as they were back then. But that's not necessarily the case. They would have continued to adapt to the changing conditions and would look nothing like what their fossil records show. In fact, there would have even been new groups of dinosaurs that would have evolved over time. Instead of the favorites we see in movies and museums, we would have an entirely different set of dinosaurs. Dead herbivores. If the dinosaurs existed even today, the biggest losers would have been the herbivores. Edmontosaurus, for instance, would not have enjoyed the biological variety of plants we currently have, and would have likely hallucinated because of the chemicals in them. Also, the plants they might have been fit to eat would have probably been destroyed by the hungry dinosaurs. Carnivores would be living their best life. Plant-eating dinosaurs would have a very difficult time feasting on the rich diversity of the flowering plants today. They would likely be very sick and mostly dead from eating today's plants. This is because their bodies wouldn't be adjusted to the rich flora we have now. The chemical makeup of today's plants is very different from the ones found during the era of the dinosaurs. They would either be dead, very sick, or at least hallucinating most of the time. This means a party for carnivores. How? Well, considering all the herbivores would have died from eating the plants that are present now, the carnivores would have had a great time feasting on them. It would have been easy pickings for all meat eaters. But it would have been short-lived. However, the good times would not last all that long. Once the dead animals ran out, there wouldn't be anything left for the carnivores to eat. Also, it's not really clear if they would have eaten the animal meat that's around now. And even if a T-Rex were to come down to a turkey farm, it would eat all the birds like a tub of popcorn in one go. Climate change would have messed things up. Around 55 million years ago, the global temperature was around 8 degrees Celsius hotter than it is currently. This was because of an event called Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum. There were rainforests all over the world. With all the vegetation around, we might have seen that long-necked sauropods growing a lot faster. They would have likely been breeding at a younger age and shrank in size. In fact, there were already quite a few dwarf sauropods. These were at best a little bigger than a cow, which were already present in European islands in the late Cretaceous period. Fruit would have developed in a different way. Modern birds and plants have developed a symbiotic relationship to help each other. The birds drink the nectar that plants develop in flowers as well as fruit. The plants in turn get the benefit of the birds that can spread the seeds of the plants far and wide when they fly away. It is possible that some of the non-flying vegetarian dinosaurs would have developed a similar ability in order to coexist with the plants. Compared with the gymnosperms that were present in the Cretaceous period, fruits and flowers present now would probably be easier to digest. In fact, it's not just dinosaurs that have gone extinct. There have been many other birds and animals that have died out over the last century due to many different circumstances. Perhaps they couldn't adapt to their changing environment, or a bigger predator took them out. Adapting to grasslands. After the dinosaurs became extinct, mammals developed the ability over a period of time to consume grassland plants. If the dinosaurs were around, they would have adapted to these grasslands a lot faster. This is because dinosaurs already have the 1,000 hard teeth that hadrosaurs already have in their jaws. It would have made it easier for them to grind the grass and eat the food. There would have been physical changes. With the dinosaurs that started eating grassland plants, there would have been some physical changes they would have to go through. This would be in order to reach plants at greater heights. Just like how cows and horses have square jaws, duck-billed dinosaurs that ate plants developed smaller snouts. Also, the size of their necks would have shortened, especially for the sauropods. This way they'd be able to graze at their feet. They would have burrowed. If you look at the way lizards and snakes live today, they tend to burrow. It's how these reptiles survive. It's kind of surprising these dinosaurs didn't have these instincts themselves. However, if you were around for a much longer time, they may have ended up going subterranean. You know moles, right? Well, these animals would have been their scaly equivalents. They may have ended up having similar roles to play as much smaller animals in our environment. Furry, but not cuddly. Some dinosaurs lived above the Arctic Circle, but this was long before the Ice Age and the conditions were a bit warmer. The Ice Ages over the years have made the conditions a lot colder and into the freezing conditions they are now. If the dinosaurs were still in that region, they would have developed thick pelts. These would have been covered with fuzz and feathers, right from the top of the tips of their tails. Just think about a woolly T-Rex for a second. How weird would that be? Dinosaurs are certainly one of the greatest discoveries humans have ever made. There are so many mysteries to life that need a closer look. Not just scientific mysteries, but other kinds as well. Have we caught your interest? Well, let's keep the conversation going with a couple more amazing curiosity videos, shall we? Here's what you need to know. Watch 24 Years in Her Father's Prison, the spine-chilling story of Elizabeth Fritzl. You can also try our video the creepiest images found on Google Earth? Go ahead, click one, or better yet, watch both, and learn more about spine-chilling mysteries. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Do you love learning about dinosaurs? Which dinosaur is your favorite? Let us know in the comments below.